Hey, hey, what's going on? DJ Trickstar. What's up, bro? What's going on? Ooh. Uh, hey, I'm good. We're going to share this link on Instagram and we're going to get started. If you just tuned in, welcome. If this is your first time live, let me know. Let me know if it's your first time live. I'm curious. I want to know. If you haven't already, be sure to hit the like button before we get started. Yo, shout out to Maya. First time catching a live stream. Welcome. We're going to answer some questions here in a second. And I had a topic today, which is no contact is only 25% of the battle. And I'll explain to you what I mean. I had a couple of calls in the last few weeks that kind of inspired that that title. All right. But anyway, welcome wherever you're tuned in from. Hey, do me a favor. Okay. Hit the like button so we can get more people in here to show your support. All right. And I appreciate it. Okay. I want to take some time out to answer some questions about your situation. So that's really what the live session is. It's more of a Q&A most times. And we just kind of talk about your specific situations, and it's a free way to interact, to get some of your questions answered. And then you know it's not really like you can't go in depth about every single thing, but at least it's a way for you to get most of your questions answered. All right. So let me know where you're from. Let me know where you're calling from. If you can't hear me, let me know. The topic is no contact is only 25% of the battle. And I'll tell you why I said that here in a second. But shout out to everyone. Shout out to everyone that's joining. I'm looking at some of the locations. We got Texas here. Where else? Washington, California, Raleigh. Wherever you guys are calling from, thanks for joining. Again, do me a favor, hit the like button to show your support. Thank you. Whatever questions you have about your situation, drop it down in the comment section below. If you want to support, okay, if you want to support me, support the channel, send a super chat donation. All right. And or if you want to skip the line, I answer the super chat questions first and then I answer, free questions. All right. So I'm just going to be going through the questions and we'll go from there. So I'm going to put myself a timer so I remember to talk about today's topic. Uh, okay, around 10:30, we'll talk about it. But anyway, thanks again for joining. Let's do it. Let's get into the questions. Da, da, da. Let's see. Okay, so the first question from It's Karen's World. Hey, coach, I totally messed up and called my ex emotional the other night. How do I turn things around? Also, I have to see him soon to pick up my belongings, so I cannot do no contact completely. Well, one of the things I always talk about, and this kind of ties into the topic a little bit, okay, is it's not just about what you do in one moment, okay? So if you make a mistake one time, that's not going to make or break your journey. Now, you want to minimize your mistakes. You want to not reach out as much as possible. You want to be no contact and actually give them space. So you can't keep making mistakes because you're only going to make it worse. But what you do one time is not going to make or break the situation. And just because you're going to see him to pick up your stuff again, it's part of your journey. You have to get your stuff. You scheduled it. He knows you're getting your stuff. That's fine. The bottom line is after you get your stuff, go no contact. Leave him alone. A lot of people, I tell people, the reason I said no contact is 25% of the journey because in a lot of cases, for some people, that's the easy part. Just not talking. It's not that difficult. But a lot of times, what you have to do on the back end, having some emotional strength and emotional self control, not chasing your ex when they do message you. A lot of times, your ex will test you. They'll dangle the carrot. They'll try to get you chasing them. Sometimes they'll send you breadcrumbs. Are you going to be strong enough to ignore them at times when necessary for the breadcrumbs? Are you going to be strong enough to, if they disrespect you, for instance? Sometimes your ex is going to call and act like they're angry with you about certain things. And so they talk to you in disrespectful tones, or they're not respectful of your boundaries. But because some people are so desperate, you allow them to get away with these things. These are the mistakes that essentially make people not end up fixing things with their ex because the whole reason we're here in the first place is because your ex lost attraction. Their attraction dropped, their interest level dropped, and they started to believe on some level that, okay, well, I'm better than this person, I'm more attractive than this person, I can do better than them. And the whole goal during no contact is that you show through your actions, not just through words and not just through no contact. No contact is important. But when you start having subsequent interactions, you have to behave like someone who's attractive. Okay. So in Karen's case, you know, sure, it was a one-time thing, it was a mistake, but if you're constantly calling and begging and say, "Oh, please would you talk to me?" it makes you look like you're lesser than him. Okay? If you make excuses like, "Oh, I want to get my stuff," but the only stuff you have over there are a pair of socks or a pair of you know, underwear, it's like you don't really need this. You're just trying to force yourself into my life. So, no contact is important, but it's really only the first step of this thing. The bigger thing is how can you elevate your mindset? How can you not be needy? Like truthfully. A lot of times I'd talk to people and it's like, okay, yeah, 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 no contact. All right, what else should I do? What else can I do to make them choose me? How else can I make them? Well, they have to believe that you've changed. They have to believe that, okay, something about this person is different. Their vibe, their energy, their demeanor, their mindset. So a lot of the stuff you need to do, most of it is internal. And some of you, if you do it well, you will get to a point where you're like, uh, my ex is not even good enough for me. I've talked to people that their ex was cheating on them, hooking up with the neighbor, and their mindset is still like, okay, sure, 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 no contact. Now, what else can I do to make her want me? Well, the start of her even finding you attractive is being the type of guy that will say, this is not good enough for me. And I'm not saying you can't forgive someone for making a mistake. That's up to you. This is your life. You get to decide, how to forgive. That's fine. But it should never be from a place of such desperation that you're willing to accept anything. Because bottom line, that's what is unattractive to your ex. The fact that they can walk all over you, the fact that you're so desperate. No one wants to be with with the one no one else wants. And if you're acting like that, they're not going to want you. So, Karen, I say all that to say one thing is not going to be the end of the game. um Picking up your stuff doesn't mean you can't get and do no contact. Get your stuff and get out of there and then start no contact. All right. But it's okay. I understand it's difficult, but I just have to be real with you. You cannot keep begging them because you're making this worse. Okay. We got a super chat from Rodzilla. Coach, my ex dumped me after 11 years together by email. I sent a reply twice, but she didn't respond, even after telling her I was nearly killed in a motorcycle wreck. Are women's emotions too deep to even reply at all? I am in no contact. Well, this is just a representation of how she feels about you right now. Okay. Some of this is likely character issues. Now, I don't know her and I don't know the context. I don't know exactly what you did for the relationship to get to this point. But, unless you were like abusive, and again, I don't know exactly what happened, but someone who wouldn't even give you the decency of a conversation, even a text message is more intimate than an email, right? Unless it's a lot of context missing, which is possible, you know, for her to have gotten to that point. But that doesn't sound like someone who cares a lot. And then, you telling her about the motorcycle crash, while it's a very important thing, I understand it, and it probably caused you a lot of pain, maybe physically, emotionally. I can't imagine, how bad the wreck was, but you need to be leaning on other people in your life. When you tell her this stuff, it looks like you're trying to manipulate her. You're trying to force her to care about you, and when she's already not talking to you, right? So, um, maybe there's some context I'm missing. And again, if you want to talk about it, book a call. But based on where you're at right now, yes, you should be in no contact. I'm not sure how long you've been in no contact. Doesn't say. But this has nothing to do with women's emotions. There's definitely deeper things that are going on here for sure. Because someone isn't with you for 11 years and, seems not to care about you whatsoever. But for now, I would definitely be no contact and wait for her to reach back out to you. She definitely got your emails. So wait for her to contact you again and maybe you guys can get together in person. That's where I would start. But again, if you want to give me more information of what potentially happened before she left, book a call and we'll talk. All right. So Key to Fitness says she moved out because she didn't feel valued. Okay. I tried to make amends for 3 months after the breakup, hung out a few times, and we have chemistry and laugh. We even shared a kiss. Okay. She texted me to check in on me. Been in no contact for almost a month now. Stay the course. Yeah, definitely stay the course. My guess is that there's other things missing here. If I was a gambling man, this sounds like one of the cases where, your ex tells you one thing but means something totally different. Right? Like she tells you, "Oh, I wasn't feeling valued," but this is more so, you know, her losing feelings and losing attraction. Because the fact that she keeps coming back and keeps messaging you, um, doesn't sound like someone who doesn't feel valued, in my opinion. And hanging out, laughing, so all those things don't really line up to me. So I would guess it's deeper than that. I wish I could see the text messages before the breakup and see what the conversation was like. But yes, I would stay no contact. And when you guys are hanging out in person, if there's such good chemistry, you should be further along than where you're at, right? Because you shared a kiss once, but you've hung out multiple times. So there's definitely a lot of information I'd like to know in there. But bottom line, your question, stay the course, yes. But you got to get better at escalating the right way, moving things forward. All right. Uh Matthew Mahas just came to say thanks for everything, man. We've been back together for 7 months. Awesome, man. We did no contact for months. Things are better than ever. Awesome, bro. Stay the course, man. Don't drop the ball. Make sure you're leading. Make sure you're courting your girl and you're taking her out and you're doing the right things. But congratulations to you, bro. Be sure to hit the like button if you just joined. Okay. Be sure to hit the like button and I appreciate it. If you have any questions, drop them down in the comment section below. I will get to your questions as soon as I can. All right. I'm answering the questions in order. But again, the best way to support is to hit the like button, share the video or share the live with anyone you know that needs it. Also, if you want to send a super chat, it's in the comment section. You can send a super chat that way, or you can ask a question. I answer all the super chat questions first. Otherwise, just stick around, grab a drink. My drink of the day is I had this sparkling water thing. Anyway, let's do it. Hmm. D'Angelo says, "Hey coach, I finally met up with my ex after a year. I bought her roses. I hurt her really bad in the past, but she is moving closer. Any advice on getting her to move faster?" There's no faster. There's no faster, okay? You cannot rush baking a cake. Slow and steady. Okay. And things have to move at her own pace. So if she's seeing you, it means she's more comfortable. It means she's trusting you. She's starting to open up. So all you have to do is facilitate. I just made a video about this not too long ago. Is you're the conduit. You're the one that leads us from point A to point B. So every time she contacts you, you need to facilitate and direct her into a date, a face-to-face get together, plan something and go from there. If you're spending quality time together, doing fun things together, having intimate moments and escalating properly at the right time, she will things will move forward. I promise you that for sure. Hey coach, will no contact work? Harold with the super chat. Hey coach, will no contact work for a long distance relationship? Absolutely. Absolutely. No contact is not this is not, and it's also just not a relationship thing as well. So you know how effective and powerful this thing is. It can also work on friends, family members. The quickest way to get anyone's attention is to remove yours. So if someone's ever neglecting you, taking you for granted, not appreciating your time, and you know you're a person of value, you walk like you don't say anything. The people that struggle with no contact a lot is like, you know, if you feel like you don't offer any value, if you feel like your ex will actually be better off without you. But a lot of times, if you are a good partner, and we all make mistakes, so no relationship is perfect. But if you are a good partner, all you're doing is you're taking away all of the value that you gave them over time, right? And it's not just gifts or money or dates, it's all the intimate conversations, it's the time you spend together. This is why no contact is difficult. Like if you were only together for a month, you didn't really have time to really establish a strong bond and connection. But if you spent like months and years laughing at each other's jokes, going on vacation, maybe raising kids together, there's so many intimate moments and things that you did and built together that is literally seared into the mind of your ex. So, like, you really just have to give them the space to miss you. So, long distance or not, I'm sure you guys had FaceTimes, you had conversations. Allow those things to work in your favor. It's all you got to do. Uh, and give it time. Okay, time is part of the equation too. Uh, hmm. Okay. All right. The next question is Stephanie, I apologize and I'm starting no contact. Is that okay? Yeah, that's fine. Sid. Sid says, me and my ex broke up a year and a half ago. I got into a rebound. Okay. Uh, Posted your mom's death. Couldn't move on. Approached her again recently. She seems cold and says she's seeing someone. Okay. What's your question? Uh, I don't see any question, but I mean, you've been broken up for a year and a half. So there's been so much time. She's likely emotionally moved on, especially if there's been minimal conversation in the year and a half. You guys didn't stay in contact, which is fine. All right. And you got into a relationship, she got into a relationship. A year and a half is a long time. And you find it, you reached out to her and she's cold and she's pushing you away. You kind of have to accept where she's at. And also, like, you have to get, like, don't beg anyone, seriously. Like, I can't stress that enough. I'll tell you the tips of no contact. I'll tell you how it works on your ex. And obviously, it's gonna be more effective the sooner you start no contact. But don't beg. Like, this is not about begging anyone at all. Don't beg. If you've already begged, it's happened. It's in the past. But don't continue begging. Does no contact work if you only dated for 2 months? It can, but it's less likely. I was just alluding to that earlier. If there wasn't a real deep, strong emotional tie and connection, you know, it's just more difficult. That's the basis of no contact is their attachment to you. So and also it does depend on the quality of the relationship. Okay, so it's not just a length thing. Length plays some factor, but what was the quality? What was the depth of the connection? Were you very, very, had a strong, tight relationship? That's kind of the basis of it. All right, let's see here. Da. All right, we're gonna do a super chat from Parkside Entertainment. Okay, apart, I think you want to say broken up from my kid's mom 2 years. Still want her. Can tell she loves me, but had a baby from another in that 2 years. But thinks she is my person. Lost her after she moved out. Said I did not go get her. Should I still try no contact? Well, you've been broken up for 2 years. She's had a kid with someone else. And you say she loves you, but she's not with you. That just doesn't line up. If she loves you and you're like, hey, you know, let's go on dates, let's spend time together romantically, she would be open to it. So to me, it doesn't sound like she's emotionally attached to you currently. So you have no choice. Like, besides raising your kids, I would have very minimal contact with her. And my guess is you're probably projecting your own feelings onto her. She's gone on to have a child with someone else. And it can't be that long ago because you've only been broken up for 2 years. Pregnancy is 9 months. So this kid is probably less than a year old. So again, to me, you're likely projecting your feelings, assuming she's already broken up with the new guy who's the father of her child. Um, doesn't sound like she has strong feelings. So if I were you, I'd be focused on raising your kid, improving your own life, your fitness, career, business, whatever it is you're into, and wait for her to have like a more direct approach towards you. Because based on what you're telling me, it doesn't look like there's much interest there. Let's see here. Where were we? But thank you for the super chat and for your question. Your fave Kelsey says, is it good if he's reminiscing about our relationship to other people and wearing clothes I bought him out more. Well, if he's talking to other people about the relationship, that's a good thing for sure. That's a good thing, but still you want him to reach out to you directly. But yeah, that's good. Um, mm-mm. Okay, there we are. Kestra. Hey, coach, my ex called after 7 weeks. I ignored and I saved her numbers. I did not respond to her. She would view my WhatsApp statuses. A week later, mm, she put her rebound guy as her profile picture. Okay, what's your question? Maya says my ex doesn't have me blocked on anything. When I text him to come see me, he always comes and we have genuine conversations. I want to reach out to him again to get back. Do you think it's possible? Well, you know, you're still chasing him. So he dumped you, you're chasing him, and he's just accommodating you when he has time. You're not a priority. So, again, what's the quality of relationship you want? Do you want to be in a loving, monogamous relationship where there's mutual interest and desire? Because you're the one doing all the work even after he dumped you. So, just because he didn't block you and he accommodates you when you text him doesn't give you an excuse to chase. So this type of stuff doesn't work. It's needy behavior. He's not interested. He should be the one pursuing you. I know that's not what you want to hear. You can chase him if you want. And if he's bored, he'll entertain you, but you're likely going to waste another 3 to 6 months chasing him. Allow him to come to you. That's literally all you have to do. Stop chasing and allow him to come to you. But you're not doing that. If you're just joining, be sure to hit the like button. Share this live with someone that you think needs it. All right. Drop your questions. If you have any question about your relationship or breakup, drop it. We're kind of going over that. And what else? If you want to send a super chat to support, send a super chat donation. Or if you want to skip the line, send a super chat. I will answer the super chat questions first. Otherwise, I'm just going in order. So yeah, Maya, I would stop chasing him. Pumpkin pie, pumpkin two pie. My ex reached out to me like 4 times while I'm in no contact. The last convo was good. It has been 3 months. We haven't talked. He's just silenced. Why? I didn't chase. Well, if he reached out to you, did he ask to get together? If he didn't ask to get together, he's likely just breadcrumbing you. He's kind of testing the water, gauging what your interest is at, and he doesn't have deep, genuine desire. Okay, because no contact sparks that curiosity and they'll reach out, but it needs to go beyond curiosity. If they have deep interest, especially for a guy knows he's responsible in most cases, right? If you live in North America, most parts of the world, the guy is the one that asks the girl out on a date. So if he's not asking you out, he doesn't really want to see you, so he doesn't miss you enough. So if he's reached out to you 4 times and he's not escalating, if you want to, you can suggest getting together one time. Okay. Just to be as direct as possible. It's better if he's asking you out, he's not. So you can suggest it one time. And if he doesn't accept, if I were you, I'd tell him to stop messaging you. It's interrupting with your healing. And you appreciate the contact, but you don't want to be friends and you wish him well. That's what I would say. It sounds to me like he's breadcrumbing you. Abjeet says, ex cheated on me and I still love her and want her back. She is currently seeing the guy who is divorced and stays in another city, but comes to meet her weekly. I have lost 30 pounds in 2.5 months. Okay. Okay, there's a continuation. Also, no contact since June. Things were rough for her in the relationship. Have improved and getting better every day. Well, good. I mean, that's all you can control right now, which is important. You got to focus on the controllable. Control what you can control, work on yourself, get better, improve, and that's the best thing that you can do right now. And that's going to help you out. But again, these are some of the things I was alluding to earlier. Like, you don't chase someone who cheated on you, and you're keeping such close tabs on her that you're like, well, she cheated, and there's it's with this guy that from out of town, and he comes in every week to see it. You're so focused on her life that how can you even focus on yours? And how is she supposed to take you seriously when you don't have a level of self-respect for yourself? Because that's really the most important thing. If you have no self-respect, like, you can't beg your way back into a relationship. It doesn't work. You can't be nice back into a relationship. She's got to have desire, and a lot of times she's not even going to be attracted to you if she doesn't respect you. All right. So again, it's a personal choice to choose to get with someone who cheated on you. That's fine. That's a decision you have to make. But you certainly shouldn't be chasing her. You certainly shouldn't be keeping tabs on her. You certainly shouldn't be trying to convince her to choose you, because it literally works against you. It's not attractive, but also she will see you as lesser than. Because the bottom line, think about it like this, okay? I don't know if you ever did this when you were a kid. If you ever, let's say your mom or your dad told you not to eat the cookies or whatever, and you went into that cookie jar when everyone was sleeping and you took the cookies, right? You'll have what's called guilt, because you kind of know you did something wrong, right? You know you did something wrong and you shouldn't have done it. And most normal people, like, you're gonna have some guilt to you. You're gonna feel bad. But if you do that, and your parents who warned you not to go steal cookies from the cookie jar, if they see you and they're like, "Oh, hey, here's another cookie." And like, you know what? Let's buy you some video games for stealing from the cookie jar. We love when you disrespect us. Will you ever take your parents seriously? Will you ever do the things that they ask you to do? Okay. And that's such a simple example, but it's true. It's applicable. If your ex cheats on you, her morals know that she was wrong. She knows, I shouldn't have done that. That was kind of messed up. So when she does that and you're still calling her and, hey, will you give us another chance? She just like, it portrays you as someone with no dignity, no self-respect, and she's not going to want to be with you. So, if I were you, I would wipe her from your brain for now and focus on yourself. The only ground you should be considering cheaters is if they come crawling begging. That's the only, like, and again, for a lot of people that's still not good enough. Like, you just don't want to be with the cheater, but you know, you can forgive. The Bible says turn the other cheek, right? So again, I'm not going to tell you, I mean, you can forgive, but you certainly should not be chasing her. Anyway, super chat from Nina. Nina says, my ex broke up with me to work on completion of house, custody, and divorce. Is that an excuse or something we could have done together? House completed. He being more consistent. Should I walk away? There's so much context missing from this, because I also sense that you're likely projecting. What I know is that generally people don't dump people that they're in love with. Okay. If there's stressors and things going on and they really value you and they see you as their person, they'll communicate whatever issues they may have a lot of times, and they'll lean on you for support. People only tend to dump others that they feel are not their person, or that there's no real consequences. I can dump you, and when I get bored, I'll call you in about a month and you'll still be there. All right. So I would love to hear more, and if you want to talk to me about it, book a. My guess is just looking at what you're telling me, the behavior that this guy is exuding is that um, that's just an excuse. He doesn't value the relationship as much as you do. That's the bottom line. The house wouldn't keep him from you if he loved you. Custody, divorce. Now, divorce is stressful, but again, if he saw your relationship as a sanctuary, he would lean on you for support. You sound understanding. You sound supportive. So sounds like an excuse to me. Musica something with the super chat. Ex posting depressing stuff, asking for biblical advice. I brought her to the faith. Feels like spiritual warfare. Feel like God would help her. What do you think? Well, you're not God. Okay, so it's great to hold yourself to high standards, but you're not God, my friend. You're still a human being, and you need to be honest about your intentions. And if you have romantic feelings for her, being her Bible study leader, or, is not the answer. I would refer her to someone else. Refer her to your pastor or something. Don't let her use this as an excuse to have a backdoor access into your life. If she's reaching out to you, that's a good thing, right? But you know, don't take on responsibilities that aren't yours. That's part of the benefits that she lost after the breakup. Okay. So if you really want to do the biblical thing or whatever, refer her to someone else at your church. Say, hey, like, assuming you still have romantic feelings, which I'm guessing you do. Say, hey, like, I know you're going through a lot. I'm going to connect you with such and such person. They'll take care of you. That's what I would do. All right. Maya Ray with super chat. Should I just go no contact and leave him unblocked? Let me try to remember, what was your story? I can't remember. Maya. Okay, so this is one of the most common ones that I see at times. Um, he just doesn't seem to have high interest. So yes, you should be in no contact. Okay, you definitely shouldn't be the one reaching out to him. Leave him unblocked, and then if he reaches out directly and he says, "Hey, I miss you. What are you doing? Why haven't you contacted me?" You tell him. You say, "Well, this friendship thing doesn't work for me. I care about you, and it hurts me too much to keep talking to you and not actually have a meaningful connection. That doesn't work for me." And then let him do with that what he may. But it doesn't seem he's not putting in a lot of effort, basically. Okay. But yeah, so go no contact and leave him unblocked. Okay, where were we? Pete. All right, Pete with Super Chat says, "Hey, coach. So it's been 2 months, and my ex says she's never coming back. She's coming by my house tomorrow to pick up the dogs, but she doesn't want me to be there. Should I just move on already?" Um, well, it's like sometimes when I get these questions, again, I 100% understand where you're coming from, bro. But it's like you want me to give you like a guarantee. I can't give you a guarantee. I don't have a crystal ball. Okay. This is largely your life, and you do have to make this decision for yourself. Is 2 months so long that it's impossible for her to come back? No, it's not. But the fact that she's telling you that tells me you've not even been doing no contact. So a lot of these questions I get from people, you're still chasing your ex, and you're like, oh, she said it's done forever. Should I even bother? All right. People just think about logically. Okay. I don't know the details of your case. If you were not talking to her, why would she tell you, I'm never coming back? It just doesn't line up. People don't say that to people who aren't having conversations with them. Okay. I think I've used this example before. Just like a random person wouldn't walk up to me and say, I don't want to sell my car. It's like, why are you telling me? I didn't ask you for your car. All right. So if you weren't talking to her, if you were actually doing no contact, she wouldn't be saying she's never coming back. That's more of a response to your actions. So you're still chasing, or you're still doing other things that make her feel smothered, like you're trying to force a relationship to where she has to push back. Don't you get it? I'm never coming back. So again, you're not even doing no contact likely. I don't know the details, but that's what I can gather from what you're telling me. So either do no contact or accept things as they are. Keep chasing, but I'm telling you, it's not going to work. All right. Let her pick up her stuff, let go, and stop chasing her. Stop. You're giving her too much power, and she's going to be repulsed by you. The hardest part is watching them love someone else. Yeah, that's tough, but ultimately, again, I make these videos because no contact works. It just does, okay? But it's kind of like I can't think of a great analogy. I love analogies, but it's not about forcing someone that doesn't love you to be with you. I would never suggest for you to do that. It's about giving you and your ex the best chance of fixing things, provided they show some effort and they actually meet you halfway. This time we actually kind of want them to go like all the way. I don't know if you ever watched Hitch. I really liked that movie back in the day, but he had the whole 90-10 rule where he would go 90% of the way and he would want the girl to go 10%. But it's the same thing. Like when you're doing no contact, you're just inspiring your ex to take action, but they need to move into the right direction. And if they choose to go love someone else, love is allowing. You should let them. All right. If you know you're a good person, you're kind hearted, you're loving, likely they will regret that decision. But you can't control that. There's no guarantees, you know. You can't control, if they're gonna fall in love and have babies, but it's just not likely. A lot of times that's your fear, right? But truthfully, you can't control that. And as hard as it might be, you're still better off allowing them to be who they want to be. Because at the end of the day, what gives us the butterflies and love and attraction, all those things, is mutual interest and desire. So at the end of the day, you don't want to be with someone that doesn't want to be with you. You can work on yourself, improve, and be the best person that you can be. Go no contact, right? And pull back emotionally and not force things, right? But then you wait for them to join you in that dance. And a lot of times they will, if you just let them. All right. Let's see here. All right. But thank y'all for the questions, man. Good questions tonight. If you're just joining, hit the like button, share the live with someone. What else? If you have a question, drop it in the comment section. We'll get to it as soon as we can. And send a super chat if you want to donate, or if you want to skip the line and go to the front of the questions, because I answered the super chat questions first. All right, so her ex, all right, with super chat says, "I've been listening to all your live streams. They've been helping. One day I have to shout you out in one of my songs." All right, when done, I'll send it. Stay strong, chat. Thank you. Yeah, I'd love to hear your songs. That's cool. Let me know. All right, let's see the next person. Da, 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 da. Gosh. Okay. Linda, I've been no contact for a month. Changed my phone number so he wouldn't get a hold of me, but he moved on with another girl. It's helped to heal. Okay. Stay strong, keep doing the work, and just take it one day at a time. It's not easy for sure. It's very difficult. Breakups are hard. Very, very hard, let me tell you. But, it's usually in the grand scheme of things, it's usually for your improvement. It's usually good in the long run. Victor says, I asked my ex, where did it go? I asked my ex out for a tea date after I met her, after I met with her to pick up my things. Had a nice talk with her. When we left, she has not set a date yet, though she has called twice after we met. What should I do? Well, next time she calls you, just be direct. Just say, hey, did you figure out your schedule? We talked about getting together for tea. All right. And see what she says. You got to be direct to the point. Go for the kill, bro. Leos says, I blocked my ex girlfriend for 2 weeks, unblocked her. We saw each other for 3 days. Then she blocked me. It's been 3 weeks now. We're having a son in November. I'm beginning to worry. Well, you're gonna see her again for sure. So don't worry. And I don't know why. There's likely some background missing there, like the blocking, unblocking. You want to be more emotionally stable, okay? Like you can't be like don't be so overreactive all the time. All right, but you're gonna see her again. She's gonna have your baby, in November. So I would be calm. You're gonna have a lot of opportunities with her. She'll be in your life for a very long time. So no need to worry. Some people feel like you have to fix the issues today. You don't. Largely, most people are not going. Even if your ex starts contacting you today, it's probably going to take at least a month or two before you get back together. So no need to panic. Relax. Meg's message with the super chat says, "Any advice on someone getting spiritually attacked?" Yeah, I don't know anything about that. Yeah, I don't know anything about that. Go to God. You know, break the Bible out and go to God. If your mom's a Christian, that's what I do. Call your mom. Okay. I don't know anything about that. But thank you for the super chat and for the question. Uh To- Tom C says, I was together with my spouse for over 20 years, separated for 4 months due to her infidelity. We do have a child together, not sure to salvage it. We are now in say meetup groups to avoid them. Yeah, you need to go, hang out with your male friends if possible. They can really support you and lift you up during this time. Obviously, that's a bummer. 20 years and you have a child together, separated, but it doesn't sound like she's apologetic. I mean, unless there's something else you're not sharing. So if I were you, I would lean on your your friends for support right now. Focus on other things. I wouldn't do the meetup groups. Find other groups. I would try to give her space for sure. Uh, Raquel, hopefully I got that right. I contact my ex-boyfriend and he answers the phone asking me how I'm doing, and I'm doing good and better without him. He's still asking me to come and see him. I'm not interested. Cool. What's your question for me? Uh, let's see here. Anne. Anne says after 10 months since the breakup, asked my ex not to text me because he's still in a rebound. Cool. Not sure if things aren't going well in his relationship. I want your opinion. Well, that's the right thing to do. Things are likely not going well if I was a gambling man, or he just doesn't have great character. One of the two, but that's the right action. You want to create some separation and say, hey, like, if you're with someone else, I can't be texting you. That's disrespectful to your relationship. Kimberly Taft. Kimber Kimberly Taft. Uh, okay. I ended things, no contact after 5 years. He took full advantage of me very hard. Finally, had enough of not being valued. Will he contact me? Chances. Well, that's your start of like standing up for yourself. Time will tell. This is one of the situations where I say sometimes, in rare cases, but sounds like your case is one, the dumper is the one that wasn't being valued in the relationship. So you were the one putting in the effort and he didn't seem to care. So this is all about interest level. Who is more interested and who is more invested in this relationship? And based on what you're telling me, you were way more invested than him. So you did the right thing by walking away as much as it hurts you. And all you can do now is stay no contact. That's literally the only thing in your control. But if he didn't care, like, time will tell. A. Hellman says, we've been broken up for 4 weeks and I harassed her every day. Good job, bro. But 2 days ago, I told her to block me on everything so she can be happy and have space. Is there any chance we can get back together? Well, again, time will tell. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't say you definitely will or you definitely won't. But it's only been 2 days of no contact. 4 weeks since the breakup, but you were harassing, begging. So I will say you made it very bad. Right. I don't know how bad. I don't know what harassing means. So what exactly you said. So there's a lot of context missing. But yes, the more text messages, the more harassment, the worse you made it for yourself. The more, when she thinks about, should I go back to him? That little bird on her shoulder would say, you're out of your mind if you think about going back to him. But time is very powerful. So start to do the right thing and actually follow the process and go no contact. Stop telling her to block you. Whether or not she blocks you, you can't control that. But um yeah, you can't control that. So just start to do no contact. Like I say, a lot of the people I you know talk to sometimes, like, you're not even doing no contact. You're like, oh, is it gonna work? Do it first. X sent me a text after 5 weeks of no contact for the second time. The text said, I hope you're doing okay. You've been on my mind for the last week. He didn't ask any questions. Is this breadcrumbs? No, it's a message. So did you answer or did you ignore him? I don't know where, some people misunderstand no contact. If he's messaging you, most times they're not going to tell you, I made a mistake, let's get back together. Your ex is still a human being. They hurt you. So they don't know if you're going to talk to them. They don't know if you're going to ignore them. You know, sometimes they're nervous. So usually they start with little innocuous things like, oh, how was your day? Or, I was thinking it. Like, and that was actually fairly vulnerable. He said, you've been on my mind for the last week. All you had to do is say, I'm doing okay. What exactly has been on your mind? Right. And see if he asks you out. You don't ignore that. So I don't know if you ignored or not, but I would have responded. Or if you would have reached out to me, I would have told you to respond. James Hardy. Hardy. What if it's your wife and y'all have kids? There's no contact still works. Same principle, bro. Right? There's still, if you're not separated, No one's filed for divorce. No one's moved in with someone else. I mean, it's more challenging, right? Because you might have a house. You live in the same house. You got children running around, so it's more challenging, but it's doable. It's just difficult. Um, mm, mm, mm. Alice says My ex, my ex came back to her ex because they have one kid. We broke up 2 months ago. If I use no contact, is it effective? Is it effective? We are 1 week no contact now. Well, obviously she has a stronger bond with this person likely because they have a kid together. And also I don't know how long you guys dated. So were you the rebound after she broke up with her child's father? So a lot of these things play a role because I tell people, a lot of times rebounds don't tend to work. So there's a lot of questions there. Again, it's one of those things where if she's likely going to go back to or stay with whoever she had the strongest emotional connection to. And at face value, it sounds like probably her child's father. Now, I don't know the details of your relationship. So, if you want to share more, you can book a call and we can talk. But yeah, there's so much context missing. Adrian with the super chat. Thank you. Says, my ex asked me for space while I was away on a trip. Okay. I didn't even know how to react. I thought things were fine. When I got back and we spoke, she was really distant and said that she feels that we're on different paths. She blocked me on everything. Any advice? Well, I'm confused when you say my ex asked me for space while I was on a trip. So were you in a relationship when she asked for space, or had you already broken up and you were trying to work on things? Because I don't hear anything about a breakup. So there's just so many angles we can go with this. But so if you were already broken up and maybe you guys were talking all the time, I'm guessing you were likely still over pursuing or smothering her. And so she needed space from you, is what it sounds like to me because you called her your ex. The other perspective is if you were still together, you thought everything was fine, and she's like, oh, I need space. And when she gets back, and when you get back, she's like, this is over. But that doesn't sound like it. It's a little confusing how you worded this. But anyway, you said she blocks me on everything. Any advice? So wait for her to reach out. So definitely you should be in no contact. But I wish they're just these types of situations. Again, if you want to go deep, book a call and let me understand what happened before the space. Because I don't know if you guys were broken up already, like you were already dumped and you were trying to fix things and you were likely doing too much. And she's like, hold up, pump the brakes, back away. That's what that's what it sounds like to me. So if that's the case, I would just go back in no contact, wait for the next opportunity. But this is where I tell you the dance of reattracting your ex. Let me just give you a general rule of thumb. You don't go back to normal communication with your ex, all right? Either until you're back in a relationship or you've gone on several dates where they're the ones always initiating and you've done several dates and they start to ask you, hey, can we get together? Hey, why don't you contact me anymore? You never want to go back to normal communication. Let's see. I think you got to follow up. Okay. We were together and she was my girlfriend for 8 months and she was always all over me. Okay. So something changed. All right. Um, so you're just starting no contact for the first time. That's the bottom line. You weren't broken up before. Everything was supposedly perfect. Likely it wasn't because if it was perfect, she wouldn't be breaking up with you. But from your perception, it seemed like things were perfect. I get it. A lot of times breakups can blindside you. So you start no contact today. Okay. She's taking things to the extreme of blocking you, and some exes do that. All right. But ultimately, that means you just started no contact. So she might feel fairly certain, like, I'm done. I don't want to be with him anymore. He smothers me, whatever the case may be. It's likely one of those things, right? And she's lost attraction or she's lost feelings right now. All right. So what you want to do is not overreact. Definitely don't go over the block. You just started. That's what this tells me. Your no contact journey just started. Okay. So wait for her to come back. She's gonna reach out and tell you, "Oh, I left some stuff at your house," or she's gonna give you one of those excuses. When she does that, you want to get together in person. Don't ask any questions. Don't ask what happened. Don't ask, help me understand your perspective, or you don't need to understand, because she's largely never going to give you how she's really feeling. She's going to tell you the nice things like, "Oh, I just need space. I need time to work on myself." So forget about getting definitive answers right now. When she reaches out, schedule a date or ask to get together. "Hey, long time. I hope you're doing well." She's going to say, "Yeah, I'm doing fine." Great. "Well, it's been so long. I was thinking about checking out such and such restaurant. What's your schedule like? Why don't we go together?" That's it. That's all you got to do. Forget about fixing things right now. Forget about understanding where she's coming from right now, unless she's bringing it up. But if you're always trying to, like, "Oh, I just need closure. I want to understand," it's just going to feel like pressure. I'm serious. Okay. So you're just starting and you still got a long journey ahead. So you're day zero of no contact or day one. All right, let's get some more questions here. Where were we? Um, yeah, I need glasses. All right, eating Cheerios says been in no contact since July 5th. Okay. My ex reached out to my mom 4 times. I blocked him on Instagram. I blocked his number, but he's been telling my mom not to tell me. Should I unblock his number? I think we talked before. Um, okay. I don't know if we talked, so I'm not gonna assume it's the same story. Yes, you should unblock him, but I can't remember the details of your case. But you should unblock him if he's contacting your mom. He could definitely send you a message through her if he really wanted to. But again, it's like, why make it difficult for them to reach out to you? You just don't reach out to them. Leave the line of communication open as much as possible. So, yeah. Is there any situation where no contact isn't the right option? Well, it depends. So there's people that, you got dumped because you genuinely did something terribly wrong. You cheated on your ex, you were abusive, you you really crossed the line. Or in some cases, like we were alluding to earlier, you were just a neglectful partner. They tried to communicate with you, tried to keep the relationship going, and you didn't care. Not the one where your ex like kind of exaggerates, where you really know, like, no, I was terrible, right? And if you think that, well, she dumped me, I'm just going to go no contact. No, like, the context of the relationship. Who was the least invested? If you were not putting in any effort, you were a terrible partner, and for that reason they dumped you, then you should take accountability. That's really the key exception where if you got dumped, you shouldn't be no contact, at least initially. You try to reconcile, but if they insist, if they stick to their decision, no, done, I don't want to do this, then you go no contact afterwards. All right. So that's the only like main scenario I can think about currently. All right. Again, every breakup is a little bit different. There's some nuance, and there have been cases where I'm like, yeah, sure, I think you should reach out because of this. But the main context is, you know, did you do something wrong genuinely? Okay. Not the stuff where your ex is like a little bit over exaggerating your wrongdoing, because that does happen. And if you allow your ex to guilt you, you'll be stuck apologizing forever. But when you know deep down, and you can, if you're not sure, you can ask like your best friend, or your mom or your dad, whoever. You can book a call with me and really see, like, no, did I really cross the line? If you did, then yeah, take ownership. Apologize for your mistake. But I wouldn't apologize 20 times. Apologize one time and mean it, and see what they do with that. Uh Grozy YT. I don't know. How do you forget the memories and forget the person? This has been bothering me for months and it hurts, even though I'm working on myself 24/7. Well, you can still have feelings for them while you work on moving on. Like, it's not a flip of a button. It's kind of like, it takes time. If you've ever lost a loved one, like a parent, sibling, uncle, like, you're going to be thinking about them for some time. You're going to cry for some time. Or if you've been in other breakups, you likely don't have feelings for your ex before this current ex. So that's just more of a time thing. Pain, most times, pain, anger, frustration basically comes from seeing reality and not agreeing with it. All right. It's like me choosing to be mad that this paper is white. Like, this is not a good idea. Right. It just is what it is. All right. So a lot of what we talk about is about letting go. It's about allowing things to be. That's why a lot of times when I share some examples, some of it sounds like spiritual. It's not, but there is a universal nature to things. There is a universal essence to things a lot of times. And, you know, if you're overly attached to anything, it can cause you pain in the future. All right. So I won't get too deep into my into my spiritual side, but that's definitely something that it will take time to let go of. But you cannot be mad at gravity for existing. So the more you accept reality for what it is, the more the anger and the resentment will drop. And then some of the other things that I see, like in the questions, is your belief systems are very bad. And a lot of times people treat you based on what you believe about yourself. I've said this before. A lot of times relationships are a mirror. All right. And what's worse is that a lot of your beliefs were not, you didn't choose your beliefs. It's your father, your mother, your environment. And these beliefs are somewhere in the background driving your actions and your behaviors. And the way your ex experiences you a lot of times is based on your belief systems. When I read someone who their ex cheated on them, but they're still groveling and begging and chasing and trying to force that person again, I understand the pain, so I'm not trying to downplay the pain, but there's some belief system back there that tells you, I don't deserve to be treated well. Whether you believe it or not, you might disagree, but that's what's causing you to do some of the things that you do. So by all means, go no contact, have a strong sense of self and what you deserve. And a lot of times that's what attracts your ex back to you. That's why I said, the title of this video is no contact is only 25% of the battle, because most of it is around portraying yourself a certain way. Your ex experiencing you differently from they did in the past, you know, not being so needy, not being so desperate, having a high self-esteem. And if you don't have the accolades or the lifestyle or the body or whatever things that make you feel inadequate, then go to work on them now. And just do one thing one step at a time. You don't have to be perfect, right? One step at a time, one day at a time. Super chat from Yodi Breadwater. We were together for 2 years, 9 months. She said she needed space to figure out what she wants. She lost attraction for sure. She said she wasn't sure about me and didn't want to hurt me anymore. Yep. And reached her breaking point. I moved out 2 days ago and no contact. Well, it's only been 2 days. It's only been 2 days, but this has been going on for some time. I can tell. So she's lost feelings for you. And again, a lot of this, probably has a lot to do with neediness. Just if I'm guessing, when your ex is telling you things like "I don't want to hurt you anymore," right? It's like she knows or she feels like she's not treating you well, and she feels like you're adding more to her life than she's adding to yours. It's almost like an imbalanced relationship, and she can feel it. That's all. So a lot of times when exes say certain things, you're like, no, it's okay. I'm not hurting. She knows. She's like, I don't treat this guy with respect. I'm not respectful of his feelings. You know, maybe intimacy has dropped. She doesn't feel comfortable holding your hand, being intimate, kissing. All these things drop, and she can feel it internally. So, you just started 2 days ago. In the grand scheme of things, this is a long journey. Like, you will be fine, likely. All right. So, start no contact. 2 years, 9 months is a long time, but her attraction for you has certainly dropped. I'm going to recommend a couple of books that I like, and I do. Some clients I talk to, I uh, I recommend them books just to so they can look at it, while they're in no contact. So especially for guys. So that was a dude, right? Um, look up Corey Wayne, How to Be a 3% Man. Good book. Just understanding the fundamentals of relationships, attraction. Good book. I like Atomic Attraction as well by Chris Camwell. Good book. All right. So check those out while you're in no contact, and let's wait for her to reach out. Okay. It's okay. We will be fine, bro. But thank you for the super chat and thank you for the question. I know you're going through a lot, so I appreciate you for being here. And I hope that, you know, um, the videos are helpful for you. I hope you can pick up those books. I think they'll be helpful for you. And I hope my answer helps you out as well. All right, let's get a couple more questions before we call it. Let's see. It's getting late. Hmm. Where were we again? Savon, what if the 30th day is her birthday? Doesn't matter. You're in no contact, my friend. Does not matter. My says no contact, not working. He's moved out months ago, but can't seem to stop being in contact. Very long story short, he left the relationship because we argued a lot over his friendships with his child's mother. What's your question for me? Tech wizardry. My ex left me for another guy and has been with him for 4 to 5 months now. What do I do, Coach Black? I've been staying true, no contact. Good. So you've actually done the practice. Okay. So this is one of the ones where, right? Um, Based on what you're telling me, okay, I don't know any other detail. All right, she left you. So she was with you and she left to be in another with another guy during your relationship. So let's just call that what it is. She cheated on you. All right. She set this relationship up. This is not like this is monkey branching, I guess some will call it, but you know, she's a cheater. All right. Now listen to your question again. What do I do? Nothing. Nothing. Like, what are you gonna do? Show up at her house with her new boyfriend? All right. I want to be as direct as possible, but I gotta challenge you a little bit. You have to, dude, like, you don't beg her. You don't beg her. She cheated on you. Now, again, you can choose to reconcile after someone cheats. That's fine, but she must be the one to come to you. If you're doing no contact correctly, according to you, great. Go keep working on yourself. Make sure you're in the gym and so on and so forth. If she's a cheater, her relationship is not going to last because character is destiny. You ever heard the saying, wherever you go, there you are? All right. I had a friend that would just quit and jump company to company. And in 5 years, he had worked at like 10 companies because everywhere he would go, even when he did get a raise, he would get fired or he would have to quit before he get fired because he never worked on his character. He was a bad employee. I gotta be honest. Right? Because a cool guy, funny dude, right? But he just was not a great employee, I guess. So the point is, if she's cheating in your relationship, she's probably gonna cheat on him at some point or disrespect him in another way, and you know that relationship is probably not gonna last. But either way, you wait for her to come to you. Period. Adrian Waddy. My girlfriend broke up with me 1 month ago. Together for 13 months, okay. And I didn't really give her space up until a few days ago. We blocked each other mutually. Sure. See, the type of things that you say is like, you be honest with yourself. You didn't mutually block. She blocked you. Now you might have ended up blocking her, but if you're telling me you didn't give her space, it doesn't sound like it was mutual. Anyway, she has always expected me to reach out, but now I can't. Will she reach out? Well, again, it's just you're literally 2 days no contact, 2 or 3 days. You're fine, okay? I promise you. You will be surprised how effective this is. How do I know? Because I've seen multiple people like, oh, my ex is not gonna reach out, and 2 weeks later they reach out. Now, it doesn't mean all of those people did the right things to keep their ex interested, but a lot of times the ex reached out. So you're only 2 days, no con, 2 or 3 days. You're fine. Give her space. When she's ready, she'll unblock you. You'll be surprised, like, oh wow, she just unblocked me. Sometimes what she'll do first, she'll unblock you and not say anything. I've seen exes that will, start typing on Snapchat, and I think Snapchat notifies you, oh, your ex is typing, and then they don't do anything. Then they just delete and wait for you to do something. But you're just still so early that you just need a little bit of patience. Truthfully, like you really just need a little bit of patience. All right, let's see here. But thanks for the question, bro. You'll be fine. I have a lot of faith that you will likely attract her back. I do. Because it's just still so early. You're not even nearly at a point of no return. Huh. Someone give me glasses. Uh, Jeez. Okay. Jeez. Rod, I got ghosted for 7 months now, but just found out she blocked me. Hard call. What do you mean? If you got blocked and ghosted, let her go. She doesn't sound interested. I don't know, what other background is missing, but unless I'm missing something, leave her alone. Becca, my ex broke up with me 3 weeks ago and said he could not give me what I need. Okay. That's a sign you're way more invested in him and he can feel it. All right. So there's an offset in investment level. Typically, in relationships, it's never like equal. It's never like exactly balanced. Like both parties have the same exact amount of feelings. Usually, there's going to be one person who's a little more, you know, who does a little bit more work. Even in healthy relationships, it's a slight offset, right? One person is, you know, putting in more of the effort or likes the other person more. But when the gap is like this causes a lot of problems. And that's when you get, you know, you're calling them all the time, they're slow to respond, they're not as, sensitive to your emotions and your needs. And that's when they start telling you things like, um, where is it? I can't give you what you need. Anyway, he was bawling, crying, and kissing me. Yeah, never take the stuff that happens like the day of the breakup or like right close too much at face value. And I'll tell you why in a second. We have not spoken a word since. Is there any hope? So 3 weeks, still too early. But um basically a lot of times those emotions or the things you see, a lot of times it's just to make the breakup conversation easier. Right. So when someone's crying and they're like, you're so amazing, like this is so hard, like it makes you feel a little bit better. So it makes the conversation less negative, right? There's not a ton of animosity. It's hard for you to argue and fight with that. And a lot of times that's the goal. It's just how can I make this as comfortable and easy for both of us as possible so we can both leave here as single people, right? What's more important is what comes after the breakup. And but it's only been 3 weeks though. So I would just stay no contact and wait for the next reach out. All right. All right. So we're gonna do three more questions. I'm beat. I'm beat. All right. Let's see here. All right. Someone said, "How do I?" Let me put this. If you want to contact me one on one, I'm gonna put it here. All right. All right. Mm-mm. All right. So we're gonna pin this to the top. All right. So there it is. I wish so for the people where I said, I wish I had like the background because sometimes there's past information. All right. There's patterns and things that were going on in your relationship way before your ex broke up with you. So it's kind of good to see the context. I would say generally for men, a lot of times what I see is a lot of needy behavior, a lot of weak, needy behavior, um, a lot of forcing, a lot of begging, and things like that. And that just doesn't work. All right. So there you go. Let's get back. We're going to do three more questions. Uh, okay. Becca B. My ex broke up with me 3 weeks ago and said, okay, I already answered that. But again, it's just 3 weeks. So yeah, there's still hope. You're fine. Lydia, no contact for 5 months. He's in a rebound. That's a major downgrade. See, I hear that a lot from people. Typically, female clients that say, "Oh, he's with someone that's not as successful as me." Don't compare yourself to them because it may work in your favor today, but what happens if you date someone that's more successful than you? Does that make you less attractive? Don't worry, don't compare yourself to them. You're already participating in the wrong game, right? Every individual is different. I'm sure what you brought to the table, what you offer is, it can't be measured. Like it's not quantifiable to be easily compared with another person. Your attraction is unique. Your attachment with each other is unique. So don't worry about that. All right. So what else? But keeps tabs on my TikTok. I really worked on myself and was good to him. Is there any hope of him coming back? Well, he's in a relationship, right? I'm not sure if he's just hooking up with this person or if he's in a relationship. But if he's in a relationship with the title, just stay no contact and wait. Like rebounds, what I've seen, 3 to 6 months or so, they tend to erode. All right. So that's kind of the timeline that I've seen. So don't worry too much. You're focusing on yourself. So good. You're doing the stuff you can control. So good job. My, my Matin with the super chat. Been in no contact for a month. I will see her in college every day since we're in the same social groups. How do I respectfully do no contact? Is there any hope? Well, I don't know how long the breakup has been. So I don't know all the past information, but bottom line, if you see her in school, class, be cordial and be kind, be respectful. Don't walk around like you're moping or you're upset or you're hurt. Um, you know, Same social circle is tricky, but I'm sure you have like your core group of guy friends. I would spend most of my time with them. But if you're going to be in circles where you know she's going to be there, it's best, like high value behavior is you're the life of a party. You don't have to be a clown, you don't have to be the class clown, but you're pretty social with everyone else. Social proof is very powerful. So if you're social, other people like you, other girls are like flirting with you, it will help her perception of you. And that's about all you can control. All right. Do not chase her. If she starts to show interest, escalate. Go, oh, hey, cool. Why don't we get out of here and let's go have drinks at my place, whatever. All right. But again, only provided she's showing interest. But otherwise, just be kind. Treat her like one of your, classmates or whatever. But spend most of your time and energy with other people. Okay. All right. Let's do one more. Let's do one more question. Da-da. La, 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 la. Trying to find a name I haven't done. All right. Mow the Down. Mow the Down TV says, started no contact 1 week after the breakup. We did tons of talking and calling. Hold on. Okay. We did ton- we did tons of talking and calling in that 1 week. I think I made a good thing from a big mistake. She asked to be friends because she didn't want to lose me. I said, maybe one day, but not now, and asked if she really needed it. I would be there. I said, we will see you. I didn't get that last part. Okay, well, it sounds like you did a little too much talking at the end there, but Again, give them the breakup. If someone asks to be done with you, give them the breakup, walk away until you see like some change in behavior. All right. So if she's reaching out to you a week after the breakup or within a week, she's likely not ready. So I wouldn't spend too much time in those types of conversations. So talking on the phone for 30 minutes, texting all day, that's a mistake. Like you want to leave those types of conversations as quickly as possible. I put a video out that covers this. It's not my most recent video, it's the one before. Just so you understand like what to do. It's the one. This is the exact way your ex will reach out to you. That's gonna give you like, you know, how to handle the texting side of things. Okay. But anyway, I wish I could get to more questions, but we'll be back again probably next week. If you have any questions about your situation that you do want to talk about, you want to give me more context or information, book a call and we can talk about it. Okay. Otherwise, I wish you well. Watch the videos. For the guys, I recommended two books. Check those out. They will help you. All right. And otherwise, appreciate y'all for being here. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.